The sun rose early today, casting long rays of light across the vast and quiet landscape of northern Tanzania. In this dry region of East Africa, the Hadzabe people continue to live much as their ancestors did for countless generations. Their way of life revolves around hunting and gathering, without electricity or running water, while much of the modern world is shaped by technology, urbanization, and constant change. They are among the last communities on Earth to preserve this ancient rhythm of life, where survival is simply part of everyday existence. In the stillness of the morning, carrying handmade bows and arrows and relying on knowledge passed down through generations, the hunters carefully inspect their weapons before heading into the wilderness in search of food. The hunt begins. They move across rocky hillsides, weave through sparse woodlands, and follow their hunting dogs. No one speaks loudly. No one gives orders. Everything unfolds naturally, like an instinct embedded deep within them through centuries of tradition. Their pace slows as they move with purpose and precision. They stop at the faint rustle of leaves, kneel to examine fresh tracks pressed into the dry earth, and quietly assess the direction of the wind. Suddenly, one hunter drops to a crouch. The signs suggest that an animal passed through only moments ago. No words are exchanged. Then, in a brief instant, an arrow is released, slicing through the silence. The first wild boar collapses immediately. Before another can react, a second falls just moments later. Everything happens so quickly that even the sounds seem swallowed by the landscape. The hunters approach, collect the results of their efforts, and safely begin the journey back with food for the group. Following a narrow trail toward the edge of the forest, the atmosphere grows noticeably tense. Without warning, a large antelope appears. Its coat blends almost perfectly with the earth and surrounding brush.
Through the dense thickets, the faint...
Completely unaware of the hunters nearby, it continues moving calmly. Instantly, the group stops. Every movement becomes nearly silent. Quick glances are exchanged as they evaluate the wind and the animal's position. Within seconds, an arrow flies true, bringing the hunt to a successful end. The antelope, unaware of the danger, becomes the next source of food and a welcome reward for the hunting party. After returning from the hunt, the group quickly prepares a meal. The animals harvested that day are processed and divided into portions so that everyone receives a share, a practice that has existed for generations. The meal takes place in a warm and communal setting, with people sitting together and sharing food. This tradition of sharing is far more than a simple gesture. It is a foundation of their society. It ensures that no one goes hungry, and it is this sense of unity that has allowed them to thrive for so long across the vast African savanna. For the Hadza people, life is not about owning the most, but about understanding what is enough. They possess few material belongings, store little beyond immediate needs, and rarely plan far into the future. They take from nature only what they truly need and freely share what they have. In their world, there is little room for pride or individual competition. Everything is centered on the well-being of the community. Each person depends on others, and together they face the challenges of life. Today's hunt was not a once-in-a-lifetime triumph. It was simply an ordinary glimpse into a way of life shaped by thousands of years of survival in a demanding natural environment. That simplicity, though seemingly modest, carries a quiet strength and wisdom. Perhaps the most valuable lesson the Hadza offer is not their remarkable survival skills, but their perspective on life. Knowing when enough is enough, remaining humble before nature, and sharing so that no one is left behind.
Across the African savanna, a massive buffalo moves slowly through the tall grass, its alert eyes scanning the surroundings. For the Hadza tribe, this is an extremely dangerous prey. A single mistake could turn the hunt into a serious risk. From the very beginning, the group understands they are facing a true survival challenge on the open plains. Before the hunt begins, the Hadza prepare their bows and arrows using traditions passed down for generations. Beneath the shade of acacia trees, they choose straight wood for the bow, carefully carving and bending it to achieve the right flexibility. The wooden arrows are sharpened and fixed securely with natural resin. For them, bows and arrows are not just hunting tools but knowledge carried through many generations. The Hadza move almost silently, stepping slowly through the tall grass while studying the ground. On the soft soil, the large tracks of the buffalo are clearly visible. For experienced hunters, each track reveals direction and movement. Broken branches and pressed grass show the animal passed here not long ago, meaning the distance between hunters and prey is slowly closing. The tension rises as the signs become fresher. Disturbed grass and newly pressed soil show the buffalo is very close. Every movement becomes cautious. The hunters communicate with quick glances and small gestures, careful not to make a sound. Their coordination is nearly perfect, because in the wild, understanding each other can mean survival. A sudden sign appears when the grass ahead shifts slightly, making the entire group stop instantly. Within seconds, the massive shape of the buffalo emerges from the grass. Its powerful body and watchful eyes make the air feel tense. The distance between both sides is now very short. The Hadza know that from this moment, every move must be calculated carefully. The buffalo does not stay still. It moves slowly, changing direction as if testing the air around it. With strong survival instincts, it can sense danger quickly. In that tense moment, a Hadza hunter raises his bow. An arrow flies through the tall grass and strikes the buffalo. After a few staggering steps, the massive animal finally collapses onto the savanna grass. The Hadza approach carefully, keeping a safe distance for a few seconds to make sure the animal is completely still. Once everything is certain, the group gathers around the buffalo. For them, it is not only a hunting success but an important source of food for the entire tribe. Soon after, they prepare to carry the meat back to camp. A fire is quickly lit in the center of the camp, dry wood crackling and casting a warm glow. Pieces of buffalo meat are placed near the flames, slowly cooking in the heat. The smell of roasted meat spreads through the air, mixing with conversation and laughter after a long day of hunting. For the Hadza, a meal around the fire is more than food. It is a moment for the tribe to share the reward of the hunt and strengthen their bond on the African plains. In the end, the hunt concludes with a large prey. For the tribe, every successful hunt not only provides valuable food but also keeps alive the survival skills passed down for generations. On this wild land, experience, patience, and teamwork always determine the outcome of each hunt. If you enjoyed this story, leave a comment and follow the channel to explore more real survival journeys in the wild.
The sun had just risen above the low bushes of the Tanzanian savanna, and the atmosphere around the Hadzabe camp had become more tense than usual. Large paw prints stretching toward the forest edge revealed that a male lion had been appearing near the tribe's hunting grounds for several consecutive days. To the Hadzabe people, lions were not only the most dangerous predators of the savanna, but also rivals that forced even the most experienced hunters to move with extreme caution. But when herds of antelope and wild boars began disappearing from the familiar hunting areas because of the lion's presence, they understood that this confrontation would eventually become unavoidable. There were no loud noises or chaotic preparations like those of modern hunting teams. The Hadzabe quietly inspected their bows, sharpened their spear tips, and covered their bodies with layers of dust to reduce human scent. Their arrows were coated with poison extracted from local desert plants, weapons that had accompanied them for generations across this harsh land. The hunting trail led them through thick, dry thorn bushes, where the lion's tracks appeared clearly in the soft ground. Several tree branches had been clawed apart, and flattened patches of grass showed that the animal had passed through not long before. The Hadzabe moved extremely slowly, making almost no sound at all. Every step was carefully calculated to avoid snapping dry branches or sending birds scattering from the bushes. In this hunt, even the smallest noise could turn everything deadly. As they approached an area filled with large rocks near the forest edge, the group suddenly discovered the fresh carcass of an antelope. The hindquarters had been torn apart, while the ground around it was covered with drag marks and enormous paw prints. That meant the lion was still very close. The atmosphere instantly became heavy. Several men quickly climbed onto high rocks to observe from a distance, while the remaining hunters crouched low behind thorn bushes, gripping their spears tightly. Then a deep, muffled roar suddenly echoed from the forest edge. The sound was not especially loud, yet it was enough to silence the entire savanna. From within the tall grass, a massive male lion slowly emerged. The dark mane surrounding its neck made it appear even larger beneath the morning sunlight. It did not run immediately, but stood still, watching the hunters with cold, unblinking eyes. In that moment, the distance between man and predator was only a few dozen meters. One Hadzabe hunter on the left began moving in a wide circle to distract the animal. At the same time, a poison-tipped arrow suddenly shot through the scorching air and struck deeply into the lion's shoulder. The beast instantly let out a furious roar before charging straight into the bushes. The group quickly scattered in different directions, never remaining in one spot for too long. They understood that a wounded lion was more dangerous than any other creature on the savanna. The chase continued for hours beneath the brutal African heat. The Hadzabe did not attempt a direct assault, but instead kept their distance while silently following the trail of blood and crushed grass. The poison on the arrow slowly began taking effect, causing the lion's movements to weaken and slow. From time to time, a faint roar echoed in the distance like the final warning of the king of the savanna. As the sun slowly lowered toward the horizon, the hunters finally found the lion lying beneath a large tree in the middle of the barren land. No one rushed forward. They stood motionless for a long time, making sure the animal was no longer capable of fighting back. Only when everything was completely safe did the group slowly approach. For the Hadzabe people, this was not simply a hunt, but also an act of respect toward one of nature's most powerful rivals. They returned to the camp with their prize as women and children erupted into cheers. A fire was quickly lit in the center of the clearing, its golden glow reflecting across faces covered in dust after a long and exhausting day. Songs, dancing, and the steady rhythm of drums echoed throughout the African night. In that wild land, the life of the Hadzabe people continued just as their ancestors had survived for thousands of years, relying on hunting skills, patience, and courage to face the harshest forces of nature.
On the vast savanna near Lake Eyasi in Tanzania, the Hadzabe tribe begins a challenging day of hunting. Rather than targeting a single animal, they set their sights on several species today. Massive hippopotamuses in the waterholes, elephants moving in herds, and lions, the rulers of the savanna. Before dawn, the entire camp is already awake. The fire is dying down as the hunters inspect their bows, arrows, and small axes. Silence is a rule. Any unnecessary sound could alert the highly sensitive animals to their presence. The hunters split into small groups and move along narrow trails, winding through low acacia bushes. They pause frequently to observe the ground and read the signs. Footprints press into the mud, broken branches, and fresh streaks of wet earth all tell a story about the presence of hippos or elephants. Drawing on knowledge passed down through generations, they can distinguish the tracks of a hippo moving through water from those of a forest elephant crossing soft ground. Accurate identification helps them choose the best approach without being detected. As they near a small marsh, an unusual sound rises from the water. A large hippopotamus, its powerful muscles rippling beneath its skin, emerges to breathe. The hunting party remains concealed behind bushes along the bank, keeping a safe distance. Some hunters gently toss decoys to test the animal's reaction. The hippo appears curious but not alarmed. Working together, they position arrows fitted with lines and aim at strategic points. In an instant, they leap forward and release their shots with precision. The hippopotamus thrashes in the water, but eventually collapses onto the mud, its enormous body sinking amid the hunter's quiet celebration. Not long afterward, the group heads toward the grasslands where a herd of elephants has been moving. Massive footprints are clearly visible in the soft soil, revealing the herd's journey, including mature adults and young calves following behind. The Hadzabe choose a favorable position, avoiding direct intrusion, and instead waiting from a distance while observing every movement. When an adult elephant steps into an opening between the bushes, the bows and arrows are already prepared. Once again, patience and precise coordination bring results. An elephant is struck, and the group quickly moves in to complete the hunt using traditional methods, ensuring the safety of both the hunters and the remaining elephants. Their sense of victory remains incomplete as they continue toward lion territory. A pride of male and female lions appears, their strong bodies and alert eyes reflecting constant vigilance. The Hadzabe understand that lions are swift and intelligent predators that cannot be approached in the same manner as other animals. They watch from afar, read the wind, and move slowly through the bushes, attempting to get closer without being noticed. However, every effort proves futile. A single watchful glance and a powerful step are enough for the lions to detect the hunters. One lion releases a threatening roar, while the rest of the pride retreats into the shade, forcing the Hadzabe to stop their pursuit. Patience alone is sometimes not enough against an apex predator like the lion. They continue observing for a while before deciding to withdraw safely, recording the pride's behavior for future hunts. After successfully hunting a hippopotamus and an elephant, the group returns to camp with their game and a sense of pride. Along the way, they gather wild fruits and collect honey from small beehives hidden within hollow tree trunks. Every activity unfolds naturally, blending into the rhythm of daily life on the savannah. Upon returning, they rekindle the fire, prepare food, and share their experiences. Stories about the lion encounter are retold, not with regret, but as lessons for the younger generation on observation, patience, and respect for nature. The afternoon passes peacefully. Some hunters repair their bows and arrows, while others watch the birds and small animals nearby. They understand that a hunting day is not only about securing prey, but also about learning animal behavior, maintaining balance with nature, and refining essential survival skills. In Hadzabe culture, every hunt is a living lesson in patience, cooperation, and respect for all living creatures. Successfully hunting animals such as hippos and elephants provides food and tools for survival, while failing to overcome the lion serves as a reminder that nature often favors those that are strongest and most cunning. As the sun sets and golden light stretches across the savannah, the Hadzabe bring their long day to a close with gratitude, continuing to preserve their ancient traditions and adding another chapter to the enduring story of survival on this land.
They hadn't planned to fear. It was ready to fight back.
Dawn gently spreads across the dry lands of Tanzania. In that stillness, the barefoot steps of the Hadzabe tribe move quietly into the forest, unhurried, silent, as if blending into the very breath of nature. They live as their ancestors did tens of thousands of years ago, hunting and gathering, relying entirely on the natural world. And today, we will explore more deeply this remarkable way of life.
As all the combs will be highly saturated in honey.
The men of the tribe leave the camp in silence. They carry simple tools, bows and arrows coated with plant-based toxins and a rare substance. On the dry ground, they read tracks like turning the pages of a familiar book. A broken branch, disturbed leaves, or a faint lingering scent in the air. Everything leads the way. Ahead, a leopard appears, agile, powerful, and alert. They move immediately. No commands are given, no clear signals exchanged. Yet everyone understands through a silent language passed down for generations. Sometimes they stop, not from exhaustion, but to listen. Their ears follow the wind. Their eyes track the smallest movements. A group of hyenas appears in the distance, and behind them, a pride of lions watches silently. Everything is a signal, a chain of movements unfolding in silence. Ahead, the leopard remains focused. It has no idea that it has become the target. When the moment comes, they draw their bows. The arrow is released, fast, clean, precise. The animal falls. There is no cheering, only a lingering silence between a life fading away and the people who depend on it to survive. But the story does not end there. In rare moments, when a leopard enters their range, they can also bring it down with a single precise shot.
And the arrow was
The space around them suddenly shifts. Everything becomes unnaturally quiet. And then a leopard bursts out like a flash of lightning. Arrows strike the ground in front of it as a warning. But in a split second, another arrow is released. So fast, it is almost invisible. The animal collapses. There is no celebration, no unnecessary reaction. They simply step forward and continue moving, as if everything follows a familiar rhythm. Here, an invisible boundary exists between predators, not to confront, but to coexist. For them, bringing down a leopard is not about proving strength, but about maintaining balance and protecting the tribe. As the sun rises higher, the tribe returns to camp with their modest catch. A fire is quickly started. No lighters, no matches, no gas stoves. Only hands and knowledge passed down through generations. The meat is cooked with wild plants gathered from the forest. No complex seasoning, no recipes. They gather around the fire, sharing each portion and offering the best pieces to one another. There's no concept of ownership. Everything belongs to the community. Watching the Hadzabe, we begin to notice something unusual about ourselves. We have refrigerators full of food, while they only have what nature provides each day. Yet they live, and they live fully.
everyone sat together in a ring. Food is not simply fuel.
So much.
In their world, there is no concept of enemies, only different beings sharing the same land. And perhaps in the rush of modern life, what we truly need is not more, but to relearn how to live simply like them. We often believe that skill comes from technology, from tools designed to make things faster and more efficient. But here, a single arrow striking from a distance, a hive found among hundreds of trees, or a root dug from the right place, all come from memory, observation, and thousands of hours of practice. It is a different kind of intelligence, a form of knowledge not written in books.
No one hoards. No one claims the... And the glue that binds their community is a journey into life, culture, and the...
And perhaps what surprises a modern world the most is not just how they survive, but how they define enough. They work to live, not live to work. They share instead of accumulate. And they spend time with each other, not because they are free, but because it is what matters most.
Swaying under the gentle
In an age of artificial intelligence, satellites, and ever-expanding cities, humans seem to be drifting further away from nature. Yet near Lake Iasi, the Hadzabe tribe still maintain an ancient rhythm of life. They don't rely on machines, but on the forest, tracks in the soil, and the subtle signals of the natural world. Their day begins before sunrise, as hunters quietly leave camp and step into the wild in search of the first signs of life. There are no clocks or alarms, only routines passed down through generations. A few men rise beside the ashes of last night's fire, pick up their bows, and check each arrow. They move slowly, without speaking, without rushing. Only the dry sound of footsteps on the ground and a few hunting dogs quietly following behind. For them, early morning is the perfect time to read tracks, when the earth still holds every movement from the night before. One hunter pauses on a patch of soft ground, where a small hoofprint is clearly visible. Without a word, the group understands, a gazelle has just passed through. They immediately adjust their direction. Not long after, the first arrow is released. The animal collapses after a short run. Processing begins right there on the spot. Quick, precise, efficient. No modern tools, just small metal blades and skills refined over countless generations. Nothing goes to waste. The meat is kept for food, while the hide will become clothing to protect against the cold nights. After about an hour of walking, they notice new signs, small pits scattered across the ground. Wild boars have been rooting here. Experience tells them that when feeding, wild boars move slowly and can be intercepted if their path is predicted correctly. The encounter happens fast, but it's dangerous. Wild boars are powerful, with sharp tusks capable of causing serious injury. The hunting dogs rush in first, creating an opening for the hunters to get closer. A poisoned arrow is released, and after a short pursuit, the animal goes down. This is a large source of food, enough to feed the entire community for several days. On the way back, no opportunity is missed. A slight movement near the base of a tree draws attention, a large lizard slowly making its way across the ground. Without hesitation, another arrow is fired. For the Aza, every creature is a potential source of food, and hunting is not a choice, it is how they sustain life. By the time they return, the sun is already high. Women and children are waiting. There is no concept of individual ownership over the catch. The meat is shared immediately. Some is roasted over the fire, while the rest is hung on branches to dry. Smoke rises, the scent of meat fills the air, and laughter echoes across the open space. A successful hunt ends in shared abundance. What makes this tribe remarkable is not just their hunting skill, but how their society is organized. There is no fixed leader, no accumulation of wealth, no hierarchy. Everything is shared equally, regardless of who took part in the hunt. The most skilled hunter receives the same share as the one who contributed the least. This rule keeps the community stable, removes competition, and ensures no one is left behind. While the modern world depends on technology, the Aza rely on simple tools, handmade bows and plant-based poison arrows. But their true strength lies in experience and their ability to read nature. They don't choose their prey, they take advantage of every opportunity, from birds in the trees to wild honey or small animals. Every hunt requires patience, sometimes lasting hours or even an entire day, until the right moment appears. In the end, what lingers is not just the image of hunting, but a philosophy of life. The Aza do not fight nature, nor do they try to control it. They live with it, understand it, and adapt to it. In a world driven by material things and constant pressure, their way of life raises a simple question. Does happiness truly come from having more, or from living with enough and staying connected? If this perspective resonates with you, share your thoughts below, and don't forget to follow for more stories like this.
As the sun rises over the horizon in Tanzania, the Hadzabe tribe begins their hunting journey. Without modern tools, they rely entirely on nature and experience. Light footsteps glide across the dry ground, while sharp eyes scan every small trace. Today, the goal is not just a single prey, but 3 important food sources: African civet, antelopes, and wild honey. Elongated tracks on the soft ground quickly draw attention. A hunter kneels down, lightly touching the soil to check how fresh it is. A faint, distinct scent in the air confirms it is an African civet. Without speaking, the group understands the direction of movement. They spread out, keep their distance, and move slowly to avoid making any sound that could reveal their presence. The civet often hides in low bushes, moving along familiar paths. One hunter notices slight movement beneath a layer of dry leaves. He stops, lowers his body, and slowly raises his bow. There is no rush. The arrow is drawn back and held steady for a few seconds. When the animal becomes clearer, the arrow is released, quick, clean, and precise, ending the hunt in a single moment. After handling the small prey, they continue deeper into a more open area where larger and clearer tracks begin to appear. These are signs of antelopes. Unlike the civet, antelopes are fast and highly alert. The Hadzabe shift their approach, moving with the wind, keeping their bodies low, and using patches of grass as natural cover. The distance closes little by little. One hunter stops, kneels low, and locks his gaze onto the target. The bow is fully drawn, the string trembling slightly in the silence. The moment feels frozen. As the antelope tilts its head, the arrow is released. It flies fast and straight, hitting the target in a single breath. There is no loud noise, only the result of patience and precision. As the sunlight grows harsher, they turn to their final goal, wild honey. This is not just food but a valuable source of energy. A familiar sound echoes from the treetops, the call of a guiding bird. The Hadzabe recognize this signal instantly. High above, a beehive is hidden inside a hollow tree. They begin to build a small fire, creating just enough smoke to calm the bees. As the bees slow down, one hunter starts climbing the tree. With agility and experience, he reaches the hive without damaging its structure. Sections of honey-filled comb are carefully removed. The honey flows out, thick and golden under the light. Some is eaten immediately for instant energy, while the rest is kept. They do not destroy the entire hive, allowing the bees to return and maintain the resource for future visits. The journey back is unhurried. Each person carries their share, meat, honey, and the experience of the hunt. There is no excess and no waste. Everything is used to its fullest. The children of the tribe learn from what happened today, how to read tracks, how to move, and how to make decisions in critical moments. As the sun slowly lowers toward the horizon, the entire tribe gathers in their familiar living area. Meat is cooked in a pot, its aroma spreading through the air, while honey is shared among everyone. There are no elaborate rituals, only short conversations, laughter, and the crackling of fire. This is not just a meal, but a moment of connection, where every result is shared and every lesson is passed on naturally. For the Hadzabe, hunting is not a confrontation but a harmony with nature. Every arrow released is based on a deep understanding of the environment. There are no traps, no technology, only skill, patience, and knowledge passed down through generations. If you want to explore more traditional hunting techniques like this, don't forget to follow for the next parts.
In the dry lands surrounding Lake Iasi, water is the most valuable resource. When the dry season lasts for months, the remaining water holes become gathering fish. But these life-sustaining places are also the territory of dangerous predators. Along the muddy banks, crocodiles often lie motionless for hours, waiting for an opportunity. The Hadzabe understand this danger well and avoid direct confrontation, knowing that even a small mistake can have serious consequences. Even so, they must approach these water sources every day, where the line between safety and danger remains very thin. As the first rays of sunlight appear on the horizon, the Hadzabe hunters leave their camp carrying their traditional handmade bows. Without maps or modern equipment, they rely on tracks in the soil, the direction of the wind, and knowledge passed down through generations. Along the way, they find antelope footprints, ground disturbed by aardvarks, and trails leading toward the lake. Every sign has the potential to lead to a new hunt. The hunters move forward in short, careful steps while constantly observing the terrain. When they locate an animal hidden among low bushes, the archers slowly spread out to gain better positions. The distance closes little by little. When the opportunity finally appears, the bows are drawn at the same time. Arrows fly forward and disappear into the dry grass. Not every hunt ends successfully, but patience has always been an essential part of their way of life. Once the hunt is over, there is no loud celebration. The animal is processed quickly at the site. Everyone joins in naturally, as if each person already knows exactly what to do. For the Hadzabe, hunting is not about proving individual strength. It is a shared responsibility that helps provide food for the entire community. The result, therefore, belongs to everyone, not to a single hunter. As the sun rises higher, the group gathers in a familiar clearing. There, the game is prepared for a meal that will feed the entire tribe. The Hadzabe do not hunt more than they truly need. They take only enough to sustain their way of life and continue into the following days. This approach has allowed them to live in balance with nature for a very long time. Food is never wasted, and every usable part of the animal is put to good use. Beyond their value as food, many animals are connected to traditional knowledge passed down through generations. Certain parts of an animal are described by elders as ingredients once used in traditional remedies. While these beliefs may differ from modern medicine, they reflect the deep connection between the community and the natural world. For the Hadzabe, hunting is not only about finding food, but also about preserving knowledge inherited from their ancestors. AS food is shared among everyone in the camp. We realize that the most remarkable aspect of this community is not their hunting skill, but their spirit of sharing. There is no concept of excessive hoarding or keeping the best portions for oneself. Women, children, and even the dogs that accompany hunting trips all receive their share. These dogs are not simply pets. They play important roles in keeping watch, tracking animals, and assisting hunters in many different situations. As night falls over Lake Iasi, the Hadzabe hunters gather around the fire to eat and talk after a long day. During daylight hours, they follow animal tracks across vast stretches of wilderness. At night, they return to their community and continue a way of life that has endured through countless generations. Perhaps it is this strong sense of unity, combined with their hunting skills, that allows them to overcome the challenges of the wild. If you enjoyed learning about the Hadzabe people's journey of survival, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories about people and nature from around the world.